Well, folks, Claudine Gay, she is the president of Harvard, and she was under serious fire for being terrible at her job and also anti-Semitic and all of the rest of it. Well, she's going to survive. So Claudine Gay looks as though she is about to survive a challenge to her leadership. Apparently, the Harvard board has now announced that they unanimously stand in support of Claudine Gay. This despite the fact that over the past 48 hours, there have been heavy accusations that she actually engaged in plagiarism, not just in her PhD dissertation, but also all over the damned place. According to the Washington Free Beacon, Harvard University President Claudine Gay plagiarized numerous academics over the course of her academic career, at times airlifting entire paragraphs and claiming them as her own work, according to reviews by several scholars. In 4 papers published between 1993 and 2017, including her doctoral dissertation, Gay, a political scientist, paraphrased or quoted nearly 20 authors, including 2 of her colleagues in Harvard University's Department of Government, without proper attribution, according to the Washington Free Beacon analysis. Other examples of possible plagiarism, all from Gay's dissertation, were publicized on Sunday by the Manhattan Institute's Christopher Rufo and Carl Stack's Chris Brunette. The Free Beacon worked with nearly a dozen scholars to analyze 29 potential cases of plagiarism. Most of them said that Gay had violated a core principle of academic integrity, as well as Harvard's own anti-plagiarism policies, which state that it's not enough to change a few words here and there. Rather, scholars are expected to cite the sources of their work, including when paraphrasing, and to use quotation marks when quoting directly from others. But in at least 10 instances, Gay lifted full sentences or even entire paragraphs with just a word or 2 tweaked. This is definitely plagiarism, said Lee Jussum, a social psychologist at Rutgers University, who reviewed 10 side-by-side comparisons provided by the Washington Free Beacon, including paragraphs from Gay's dissertation. They actually gave her a prize for that dissertation for quote-unquote exceptional merit. He says the longer passages are the most egregious. Hey, but again, none of that would have broken, except for the fact that Claudine Gay went in front of Congress and made clear that she doesn't care about anti-Semitism. That it all depends on, quote-unquote, the context. Now, again, Harvard University has one of the most restrictive speech codes in America. They will come after you for fat phobia at Harvard University, but if you say, "From the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free," while waving around a Hamas flag, everybody will apparently look the other way. All of this despite the fact that the National Association of Scholars yesterday called on Harvard to remove Claudine Gay as president of the university. They noted Gay's shoddy professional work, record of plagiarism, and promotion of racist policies. That was as of yesterday. And again, when it comes to Claudine Gay's own upset over anti-Semitism, it's just absent. It's not there. One of the things that was amazing about watching these university presidents testify in front of Congress is even if they had said something like, listen, we can't do anything about speech that we don't like, but we really don't like the speech. It's ugly and it's wrong. Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state, and we hate all of this. But we're trying to draw a balance. If they'd even said that, that would have been one thing, but they didn't. And here's the thing, they say that kind of stuff all the time. So for example, in April of 2021, Claudine Gay signed a letter to the Harvard community accusing America of racism and decrying the shooting death of Adam Toledo, who flashed a gun at the police. Quote, "We as a community must stand against racism. We must commit ourselves to the unfinished work of building a just society, one in which everyone's rights and safety are protected and everyone's dignity is honored. In a system in which police have vast discretion to stop people on suspicion of minor offenses, so many people in this country of color live with an ever-present sense of vulnerability." Again, when she's talking apparently about American racism, then that's one thing. She's very passionate about that. When it comes to accusations of anti-Semitism on her own campus, then it's all by the wayside. Now, Harvard tried to rely on academic freedom as the basis for why she should basically get off the hook scot-free. There's a petition that emerged on Sunday from various members of the professoriate, urging the university to, quote, "resist political pressures that are at odds with Harvard's commitments to academic freedom." But let's be real about this. They don't care about academic freedom at Harvard. There's like 2 registered Republicans on the entire staff at Harvard University. I mean, I went to Harvard Law. I'm just telling you, there are no Republicans on staff. In the law school, when I was there, I think the number of registered Republicans on staff at Harvard Law School, which had well over 100 professors, it was like 3. I could name them. And the fact is that Harvard is not a place of academic freedom. It never has been a place of academic freedom in any serious measure. But they're relying on all of that in order to protect anti-Semites. So now, naturally, the Harvard board stands in support of Claudine, and they have to. They have to. She's a black lady, and she was selected for this position specifically based on her diverse bona fides, meaning that she is a black lady. And let's be real about this. The reason that she was allowed to get away with this sort of shoddy work for years on end is because she had the shield of intersectionality. If you are an intersectional person, meaning a racially diverse person who ranks high in the victimhood coalition, then you can get away with just about anything on a college campus. That's the way this works. If Claudine Gay were a white lady and she'd been hit with these charges of plagiarism, as a student, she would have been out. She's being hit with these charges of plagiarism, let alone what she's doing as the actual president. But now, apparently, they're going to defend the quality of her work. That's the way this works. So Harvard University's board has now put out a statement, quote, "Dear members of the Harvard community, as members of the Harvard Corporation, we today reaffirm our support for President Gay's continued leadership of Harvard University. Our extensive deliberations affirm our confidence that President Gay is the right leader to help our community heal and to address the very serious societal issues we are facing." What were their extensive deliberations? They met last night. Those were their extensive deliberations. So many people have suffered tremendous damage and pain because of Hamas's brutal terrorist attack, and the university's initial statement should have been an immediate, direct, and unequivocal condemnation. Calls for genocide are despicable and contrary to fundamental human values. President Gay has apologized for how she handled her congressional testimony and has committed to redoubling the university's fight against anti-Semitism. That's so amazing. So they just rejected everything that she's done since October 7th, and then they're like, but she apologized. Why? Because the edifice of DEI must be upheld. As we discussed at length yesterday, the entire reason for being of major American university liberal arts programs is to defend the idea that America is fundamentally unjust, that the American meritocracy is fundamentally unjust. This is why you need diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's why you give people extra points on their application based on their race. That is why you do those things, is because the basic idea is that if you succeed in American society, unless you're a member of an intersectionally oppressed group, if you succeed, it's because the system itself is broken and exploitative. And so we have to rejigger the system by providing benefits, like, say, the presidency of Harvard University to people who are not qualified for that position.